If keto isn't working for you, the problem is often not carbs. It's calories hiding inside keto-friendly foods. Keto can reduce hunger for many people, but it doesn't make energy balance disappear. If your fat loss stalled, or you feel like you're doing everything right, this is the first place to look. Because keto foods are often very energy-dense, small extras add up fast. A little more oil, a bigger handful of nuts, an extra slice of cheese. Those are tiny choices with big calorie consequences. And the frustrating part is, you can stay in ketosis and still not lose fat. Ketosis is a metabolic state, not a guarantee of a deficit. So the goal here is simple. Keep the benefits of keto, stable appetite and fewer cravings, while removing the hidden calorie traps. Once you see where the calories sneak in, you can adjust without feeling deprived. Moving to slide 2. First, let's separate two ideas that get mixed up. Ketosis means your body is making and using ketones. A calorie deficit means you're using more energy than you're taking in. You can have one without the other. If you eat keto, but your portions are large, you might maintain weight perfectly, because your intake matches your needs. Also, keto can improve water balance and glycogen levels early on. That can make the scale drop fast at first, then slow down later. When that happens, people often add more fat to stay keto, even though carbs are already low. But dietary fat is the easiest macro to overdo because it's so concentrated. 1 tablespoon of oil is roughly a small snack worth of calories, and it barely affects fullness for some people. So the key mindset is this. Keto helps you control appetite, but you still need a reason for your body to tap stored fat. That reason is usually a consistent deficit over time. Moving to slide 3. Why is it so easy to overshoot calories on keto? Because fat packs a lot of energy into a small volume. Protein and carbs have about 4 calories per gram. Fat has about 9. That means a small addition of fat can double the calories of a meal without doubling the size. Think about coffee. If you add heavy cream, butter, or MCT oil, you can turn a normal drink into a meal's worth of calories. And liquids are tricky. They don't always trigger the same fullness signals as solid food. Another common issue is cooking fat. A pan can soak up more oil than you think, especially with low-carb foods that don't absorb water. Even keto desserts can be a problem. Almond flour, coconut flour, nut butters, and sugar alcohols can keep carbs low while calories stay high. None of these foods are bad. The point is that keto-friendly doesn't automatically mean fat loss-friendly, especially when portions drift upward over time. Moving to slide 4. Let's talk about the biggest stealth source, added fats. Added fats are oils, butter, mayo, creamy dressings, and fat boosts that aren't naturally packaged with protein and fiber. They can be useful for flavor and sometimes for satiety, but they're easy to pour heavy. A salad can look virtuous and still be a 1,000-calorie situation if the dressing is generous and you add cheese, nuts, and avocado. The same goes for keto bowls, where every topping is high fat. Here's a simple test. If you remove the added fats, would the meal still feel like a real meal? If the answer is no, it may be built around fat instead of protein. For fat loss, many people do better when protein is the anchor, and fats are adjusted to appetite. That doesn't mean low fat. It means intentional fat. Use measured amounts, pick one main fat source per meal, and let the rest of the plate be protein and low-carb vegetables. Moving to slide 5. Nuts and cheese deserve their own spotlight. They're convenient, tasty, and keto-friendly. They're also easy to overeat because they combine fat, salt, and crunch or creaminess. A small handful of nuts can be several hundred calories, and it rarely feels like a full snack. Cheese is similar. A few slices while cooking, a little extra on top, a bite here and there. Those are calories that don't register as a meal. And because they're low carb, it's easy to assume they're automatically safe. If you're stalled, try a short experiment. Keep nuts and cheese, but pre-portion them. Buy single-serve packs or weigh out one serving and put the bag away. Another option is to move them from snack to ingredient. Use a measured amount on a meal, not as grazing food. Most people don't need to eliminate these foods. They just need boundaries, because the appetite breaks don't always kick in with hyperpalatable keto snacks. Moving to slide 6. Keto drinks can quietly erase a deficit. The classic example is bulletproof-style coffee. It can blunt hunger for some people, but it can also deliver hundreds of calories before you've eaten any real food. The same goes for cream-heavy lattes, keto hot chocolate, and smoothies made with nut butter and coconut products. The issue is not that liquids are evil, it's that they're easy to consume fast, and your brain may not count them as food. If fat loss is your goal, treat drink calories like meal calories. Ask one question: is this drink replacing breakfast, or is it on top of breakfast? If it's on top, it's probably pushing you toward maintenance. A simple adjustment is to pick one approach. Either keep coffee mostly calorie-free, or deliberately make it a meal, and then reduce your next meal accordingly. For many people, switching from fat coffee to a protein-forward breakfast is the easiest way to restart progress. Moving to slide 7. Now let's hit a subtle one: protein being too low. On keto, some people push fat very high and keep protein moderate to low because they fear it will kick them out of ketosis. For most people, reasonable protein doesn't do that. And when protein is too low, two things happen. First, meals are less satisfying, so you snack more. Second, you may lose some lean mass over time, which can reduce the number of calories you burn at rest. Protein is also more thermogenic, meaning your body uses more energy to process it compared to fat. So if your calories feel mysteriously high, check whether you're trying to hit a fat target instead of a protein target. A practical approach is to set protein as the non-negotiable part of meals. Then add fat for taste and satiety, but don't force it. Many people find that when protein comes up, cravings go down, and total calories become easier to manage without tracking every bite. Moving to slide 8. Another reason calories creep up is keto math on labels. Net carbs are useful, but they can create a false sense of safety. Some products use fiber and sugar alcohols to keep net carbs low, yet the calories remain high, and portion sizes on packages are often unrealistic. If a bar says 2 servings and you eat the whole thing, you just doubled the calories without thinking. Also, some people tolerate sugar alcohols poorly. That can cause bloating or GI issues, which makes progress feel worse even if fat loss is happening slowly. The bigger issue is behavioral. Ultra-palatable keto products can keep the snacking habit alive, even when carbs are low. If you're stuck, try a whole food keto reset for a week. Meat, eggs, fish, low-carb vegetables, and a measured amount of fats. Keep packaged keto treats as occasional, not daily. This isn't about perfection. It's about removing the foods that make it easiest to overeat without noticing. Moving to slide 9. Let's cover a common confusion. I'm eating less, but the scale won't move. On keto, water shifts can mask fat loss for weeks. Sodium intake, stress, sleep, and hard workouts can all increase water retention. If you're lifting weights, you can also store more glycogen in muscles over time, even on low carbs, and that pulls in water. None of that means calories don't matter. It means the scale is a noisy signal. So use multiple indicators. Waist measurements, how clothes fit, progress photos, and weekly averages on the scale are more reliable than day-to-day numbers. If those markers are flat for several weeks, then calories are a likely lever. But if your waist is shrinking and strength is improving, you might be on track, even if weight is stubborn. The goal is to respond to trends, not single weigh-ins. Keto can make those trends easier by reducing appetite swings, but it can't remove normal biology, like fluid balance. Moving to slide 10. So how do you know if calories are actually too high? Use a short, structured audit. For 3 to 7 days, keep your keto foods the same, but measure the big calorie drivers: oils, butter, nuts, cheese, cream, and nut butters. You don't need to track forever. You're just collecting data. Most people are shocked by how much a drizzle really is. Next, look for the easiest subtraction. Not everything at once. Pick one: reduce cooking oil by half, or remove fat coffee, or limit nuts to 1 portion per day. Then hold that change steady for 2 weeks and watch the trend. If nothing changes, you can adjust again. This method works because it avoids random guessing. It also protects your sanity because you're changing one lever at a time. Keto is already restrictive in one dimension: carbs. You don't want it to become chaotic in every dimension. A calm audit gives you clarity fast. Moving to slide 11. Here are adjustments that usually work without making keto miserable. First, build meals around leaner proteins sometimes. Chicken breast, turkey, fish, or leaner cuts of beef can lower calories while keeping you full. Second, keep fats attached to food. Instead of pouring oil, choose fats that come with protein, like eggs, salmon, or whole milk yogurt if it fits your carbs. Third, add volume with low-carb vegetables. They give you chewing, fiber, and a bigger plate for very few calories. Fourth, be careful with keto grazing. If you're eating 5 mini snacks, you can easily outpace 2 solid meals. And finally, consider meal timing. Some people naturally eat fewer calories with a narrower eating window, but it's not required. The big idea is to make the default meal satisfying with protein and volume, then use fat as a dial, not a foundation. That way you can stay keto and still create a gentle deficit that's sustainable. Moving to slide 12. One more piece that matters: expectations and timelines. If you're already fairly lean, fat loss on keto will be slower because your body has less stored energy to give up. If you recently increased exercise, you may hold water while you recover. If sleep is short, hunger signals often rise and cravings get louder, even on keto. So don't treat a short stall as failure. Treat it as feedback. The best approach is to pick a realistic target, a small weekly trend, not dramatic daily drops. Then keep your process consistent: protein anchored, carbs controlled, fats measured, and snacks intentional. If you do that and you're still not moving, it can be worth checking other factors with a professional, like thyroid function, medications, or sleep apnea. But most of the time, the fix is simpler. Keto didn't stop working. Your intake quietly matched your output. When you create a small gap again, progress usually returns, without needing extreme restriction. Moving to slide 13. Let's turn this into a simple action plan you can actually follow. Step 1. Keep carbs low enough for keto, but stop chasing maximum fat. Step 2. Set a protein baseline for each meal, so you finish meals satisfied. Step 3. Measure the easy-to-overpour items for a short period: oil, cream, nuts, cheese, nut butter. Step 4. Remove one high-calorie habit that doesn't add much fullness. For many people, that's fat coffee, frequent keto treats, or nut snacking. Step 5. Watch a 2-week trend using a weekly average and a waist measurement. If the trend improves, you've found your lever. If it doesn't, adjust one more lever and repeat. This is how you stay calm and objective. No guessing, no moralizing food, just inputs and outcomes. If you want to keep going, use this forced choice in the comments. Which is your bigger calorie leak on keto? A. Oils and dressings, or B. Nuts and cheese? And if you want more practical keto troubleshooting like this, subscribe. Optimize your biology, not just your diet.